Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. Free Paulo B. What has Paulo Bernardo done wrong at Celtic to basically not getting picked for the team? And the reason I'm asking that this morning is there has been an interview with our £11 million player. Yeah, there's been an interview with our £11 million player, and he's been talking about the fact that, well, he went to the manager and asked the manager why he wasn't getting picked. And the manager then came back and told him, why is this doing this? Not receiving enough video to mainstreaming. But anyway, so there is a poll this morning. There's a poll question this morning, and it says, which player would you prefer in the middle? Paulo Bernardo, he's on 64% already. Rio Hatate, 8%. Luke McCowan, 12%. And Benji Nygren on 15%. Now let's talk about Benji Nygren first of all. We'll start at the bottom and work our way back up. Benji Nygren came into Celtic in 2020, the summer of 2025, June 2025. He came in, he arrived at Celtic Park, and at 23-year-old, he's got plenty of experience in his game. He had over 200 appearances. His initial breakthrough came through with his home team. He joined as a 12-year-old, made his senior debut at 17. His early performances soon caught the eye of Belgian side Genk, which he went on to go to after a 2-year loan spell in Holland, soon followed by a move to the Danish Superliga. After making over 100 appearances in Denmark, scoring 35 goals, he got a move to Celtic in 2025. 35 goals out of 100 games for a midfielder is a good return, anyone would say. But Benji Nygren just hasn't seemed to have hit the heights with Celtic. So that's Benji Nygren. Give me your thoughts on him in the comments. Next up is a player that quite a lot of Celtic fans like, because, you know, he is one of us. And I think that we can all remember. We all remember when he signed for the club late into the transfer window. We all thought that the business was done at Celtic. And then the lights went back on. And the smile on Luke McCowan's face when he walked down the tunnel at Celtic Park was absolute. You just knew he was buzzing, absolutely buzzing. The fact that he was on his way back up to Dundee, and his agent said, "Turn around, the deal's on. Turn around and head to Celtic Park." And he made it just in the nick of time. He was the Dundee captain, Luke McCowan. He made over 40 appearances for the Dens Park side in 23-24, scoring 10 goals across the campaign, and was named Dundee's Player of the Year and Players' Player of the Year for that season. He joined at 26, he's now 28. He says at the time he's came to a special club. To come to a club of this size, you just know you're going to be part of something special. And the fact that he's one of us. This season, he's had 19 appearances, funnily enough, 8 starts, played 77 minutes, 2 goals and 1 assist. Most of his appearances coming from the bench. When you look at his pass completion, long passes, 14, you look at his pass completion, it's 83%. His shooting accuracy is 54%, and his tackles won is 37. I wonder what Benji Nygren's was. Let's go back to Benji Nygren, because that is an interesting set of stats that I didn't look at for Benji Nygren. Where is it? There it is there. And let's look at the stats for him. Pass completion. And there's why Benji gets a start before him. His pass completion is 82%, shooting accuracy is 58%, and tackles won 45%. So we know that the modern game is a game of stats, and it's interesting to see his stats. We should have got them up on the different screens to compare them. Luke McCowan. So Luke McCowan's passing rate, 83%. Benji Nygren, 82%. So Luke McCowan actually beats Benji Nygren on pass completion. When it comes to shooting accuracy, Benji's a little bit further forward. When it comes to tackling, he's also further forward than Luke McCowan, which is an interesting one. Right, next up on the list was Rio Hatate. Rio Hatate is the player that every single player has an opinion on, because let's face it, when he's good, Rio Hatate is absolutely fantastic. But when he's bad, Rio Hatate, he's absolutely woeful. Rio Hatate joined Celtic at 26-year-olds on a 4.5-year deal on the contract and the January transfer window 2022. He got a man of the match performance against Hibernian. Rio has since emerged as the mainstay in the heart of the club in the midfield, Celtic go on to say. But how does his pass accuracy... Oh, this will annoy Celtic fans. This is data coming from the Celtic website, by the way. His pass completion. Now, remember, Luke McCowan's pass completion, 83%. Benji Nygren's, 82%. Rio Hatate, 82% completion passes. That's quite phenomenal when you look at it like that. Let's get it up. Let's just get it on the screen, in fact. Get it on the screen. Will it show it all? Boom. Yeah, there we go. So this is... Get rid of that comment. There we go. Season overview. Just put that up there, and then we'll bring it down here. Never mind the palm trees behind me. Just give you some sunshine this morning. So this is Rio Hatate's stats on the Celtic website. He's made 22 appearances, 18 starts. Played 1,554 minutes, 3 goals and 3 assists, 82. It's unbelievable, because when you look at... That's Rio Hatate. When you look at Benji Nygren, I mean, his stats are better. The tackles won. Rio Hatate, the tackles won, is only 38%. That's unbelievable. Only 38% from Rio Hatate on tackles won. Benji Nygren, 45% of his tackles won. And then when you look at Luke McCowan, 37%. It's unbelievable. The stats are really close when you see them like that. So tell me in the comments which player that you would like. There is one more player to go in our list, and that player is Paulo Bernardo. Now, we could bring up the stats of Paulo Bernardo, but they're not going to tell us anything, because Paulo Bernardo has not been getting game time at Celtic. So how can we really compare Paulo Bernardo? Well, we can look back at what Paulo Bernardo done previously at Celtic. And if you remember back to his first year on loan at Celtic, it said that Paulo Bernardo's made... Oh, this is going to wind Celtic fans up. This is the stats on the Celtic website, right? So this is going to wind you up. It's and I know that stats can be in any form, but pass completion. This is mad. Why is Paulo Bernardo not getting game time? Pass completion, 87% for Paulo Bernardo. Rio Hatate, 82% pass completion. Benji Nygren, 82. Luke McCowan, 83. Paulo Bernardo, 87. Why? Free, Paulo B. Free, Paulo B. Why is Paulo B not getting more game time at Celtic? Should be the real question that Celtic fans are asking themselves. Even when you look at these stats and you know that he's not been getting much game time. But Rodgers had Bernardo on loan for a season before buying him. Didn't get why we bought him. Never utilised him. Yep. Some of the comments coming in. It's a strange one, isn't it? Let's put that down there. How many minutes has Paulo Bernardo had? He's had 230 minutes. So that's it there. Minutes played. 230 minutes Paulo Bernardo's played, which is unbelievable. Rio Hatate has had... Oh, nearly closed the wrong one down. 1,554 minutes. Benji Nygren has had 1,533 minutes, and Luke McCowan has had 779. Paulo Bernardo, it says, had 9 appearances. Can you really include coming on for the last 5 minutes of a game as an appearance? Well, if you could. But as McCowan does a lot of running off the ball. Yeah, you would think that. God, it's got the World Cup draw live. I need to change that. You would think that a lot of the players would do something off the ball. But, I mean, the pass completion, 87%. Shooting accuracy, okay, he's had 1 shot at goal. He's had 1 shot at target. But anyway, that's just an interesting one. So we did do a poll on it this morning, and it's interesting. Paulo was supposed to be the replacement for Matt O'Reilly, then got injured, and that's where it ended. Yeah, but you would think if he was the replacement for Matt O'Reilly, you'd think that he would get his chance. But Brendan Rodgers just didn't give him his chance, did he? Remember Turnbull? Yeah, I remember Turnbull, and Turnbull was also a player that was, and this is the crazy thing, we sold David Turnbull, and his stats would be up there with the top of them as well, because he could take a shot from outside the box. But Turnbull wasn't fancied by the manager, and then with half a season left to go, we sold David Turnbull for £3 million at the winter window. We allowed, and this is where it gets nuts, because what would Greg Taylor's stats be? Greg Taylor's stats would have been way up there also. We allowed Greg Taylor, who was valued at £8 million at one time by Celtic, to walk away from the club for absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And are we at risk? Are we at risk of losing Paulo Bernardo? Morning, Baz. Paulo Bernardo is a far better player than Benji and Engels put together. The stats are skewed. The stats tell us that we're a well-run club. Dig, come on, have a morning off. We're talking about players here and why Paulo B is not getting free. Paulo B, free. Paulo B. Let's get Paulo Bernardo some game time. Rodgers, O'Neill, and now Nancy. None of them rate Paulo. Maybe just not good enough. How could he not be good enough? Without Paulo Bernardo, Celtic would not have won the Scottish Cup final. Celtic would not have won the Scottish Cup final against Rangers. He's the one that grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck in the second half when he came on early in the second half. He's the one that took the shot from long range. He's the one that took on 2 Rangers players and took the shot from long range into the Rangers goalkeeper, who spilled the ball out to Adam Idah, and Adam Idah said thank you very much and put the ball in the back of the net. Without Paulo Bernardo taking that shot, we would never have had Adam Idah to thank for scoring the goal that won the Scottish Cup. And people forget that. Baz, morning, anyone using Strachan? No, there was no news on Strachan last night. It wasn't Strachan that the news was about last night. It was our goalkeeper coach. I can't remember the time that so many fans are saying they were blaming about leaving so many players because of their attitudes towards them. Yeah, this is true. As long as they're border in chat. I mean, is it? I'd like to see the stats in key games only, Europe finals, etc. McCowan's a good impact sub. I'd also like to see Benji in the striker position. Benji's not really a striker though, is he? He's not really a striker. But anyway, it was just an interesting one this morning because a certain player that was valued at £11 million has been speaking to the media. He has been speaking to the media, and this is what he said. Considering that Paulo Bernardo, we took him on loan. He was valued at 5-6 million. We ended up getting him for around about 3 million, which took a little bit longer than it would have. You know, the manager wanted him, we got him, and then the manager never played him, which was weird. But Arne Engels has been speaking to the media about life during the Brendan Rodgers era, and what he actually went through since the departure of Brendan Rodgers at the end of October. 11 million record signing Arne Engels. Now, you remember also that Callum McGregor came out and defended Arne Engels just a couple of weeks ago, saying that, look, the price tag has nothing to do with the player. He's only 22-year-old. He's one of the best 22-year-olds that I've ever seen. And remember that McGregor's around about near enough 10 years older than him, isn't he? It's easy to forget that Arne Engels is only 22 years old. If he had came through the system at Celtic, Arne Engels wouldn't be even in the first team. Let's put that into perspective. The amount of 22-year-olds at Celtic, they get put out on loan. Nobody had forgot about Bernardo. Why do you keep talking about players who have less? News must be low. Because somebody mentioned it in the comments, mate. I'm replying to comments. That's all I'm doing. I'm replying to comments on the thing. That's why I was talking about Turnbull. Read the comments. Never just don't watch the screen. Read the comments as well. You might learn something new. Engels' price is the going rate for that player. Yes, it is. But Arne Engels has also been speaking to the media, and he says playing regularly will help in all fronts. I want to be in the Belgian World Cup squad. I was on the bench more than I really wanted to be under Rodgers, and it was a frustrating time. It's always frustrating to be a player, especially when you're working so hard in the back room and on the training pitch. But if you get a big chance, you need to take it to get back into the team and show that you can actually contribute to the team. But it's always frustrating when you do get onto the pitch and then you just don't get on the pitch the next game. I had conversations with Rodgers. He was asking why he wasn't starting, and he says, obviously you go in and you ask why you're not playing, especially as a player. A lot of important games last season, and you played a lot of important games last season in Europe, Champions League, etc. And then you get a bit frustrated. You ask the manager for the reasons. He says, we spoke about it. We had some really good chats. I gave my clear opinion, and then he said, it's not just up to me. He says, I need to work hard for myself. I need to work hard and do more things in the games. A lot of people would say that, maybe the manager was right. He says, Arne Engels says, we had a really good chat. I said my opinion. He said his opinion. We always discussed it. The manager sometimes thinks that, he wants to play a system where you're not part of it. We had lots of good chats. I needed to do better as a player to be in the team. So I went away and discussed how to do that. I spoke to Callum McGregor, and there was just tiny small details, and he says that Callum McGregor took him aside and helped him really a lot. He says he's helping everybody like a real captain does. I have a really good relationship with Cal Mac. We find each other that we got on really well on the pitch, and every time that you see that we're playing games together, we seem to do quite well, even though sometimes I need to man cover. I need to cover him, but that's all good. What do I need to do? Well, what you're seeing is everything. Callum McGregor has an opinion. He's helped me a lot just to be calmer and just to work on the things that we spoke about. McGregor said at the start of the month that Engels is sometimes unfairly judged because of the £11 million fee. It's a big one in Scottish standards, but the man himself, look, it's a heavy price tag, but I don't go into social media. I don't read every post about the 11 million. And like I say, I just need to deal with it. It says, it's my thing that I need to deal with. I always try to do my best and I try to help the team. Sometimes it's maybe not fair, but it's what it is. You need to go, you need to grow, and you need to show everybody that you're doing your homework. I think every player feels the pressure here. It's always going to be about winning games and always going to be about a winning performance. Even though you've had a fantastic game on a Wednesday, you need to be back on a Saturday, Sunday, even better, says Arne Engels. You have to have a really good game, but then if you have a worse game, or they're going to speak about it. if you're not performing well. This is very true, and welcome to the life of Celtic Arne Engels. £11 million for a player, and we said this at the time. Do you know, if Celtic end up going down the road of buying 8, 9, 10, £11 million players, it means that they're paying the going price. But it comes with a caveat. It comes with the caveat that the manager needs to get them playing in a formation that can get us to win against Hatate Almaty. And that's the reality. People will say it's the players that cost us the game. Was it the players? Was it the manager? Was it the backroom staff? Was it the fact that I think it was a combination? And ultimately, Celtic didn't do their homework on Hatate Almaty. I mean, those of us that watched the previous game, the double leg that they played before Celtic, they played the exact same way. And Celtic just did nothing to counteract it whatsoever. And they fell into the trap of getting dragged into penalties, which we ultimately lost. And the £40 million penalty kick went down as history as one of the worst moments in Celtic. Arne Engels says it can change really fast, so it's up to us to keep bringing good performances. Then they'll have nothing to say, only positive things. I love Arne Engels for saying that. It is up to the players to put in good performances, because I see it. And even the missus sees it. She's had 5 years of listening to me doing this podcast in this format. And she sees the highs and lows. Do you know, when we get beat, she sees the negativity. She hears me talking about, you know, what everyone's saying online. But Huffy Pants comes to mind. Maybe if he becomes a bit more consistent, I would say fair play, Baz. Huffy Pants? Huffy Pants? Are you talking about... Who are you talking about with Huffy Pants? To me, Huffy Pants is Rio Hatate. But who knows? Who knows? Anyway, that is just a little video this morning talking about Paulo Bernardo, his situation, and what is he doing wrong at the club should really be the question. And what is he doing wrong in training? And when you go back to the stats, it's absolutely bonkers. Because especially since Celtic are all going down this road of pumping out stats. Paulo Bernardo's stats in 9 appearances, 2 starts. He's played 230 minutes. He has a pass completion of 87%, shooting accuracy of 100%, and tackles 135%, 7 out of 20. Rio Hatate, his stats are worse. 82%, 43%, and 38%, which is bonkers. He's played 1,554 and 22 minutes appearances. Benji Nygren is around about the same as Rio Hatate, although his shooting accuracy, and this is what's even crazier, because Benji Nygren's shooting accuracy is better than Rio Hatate. Even Luke McCowan's shooting accuracy is better than Rio Hatate. Just wonder, it makes you wonder what people, I mean, these people that go on about the stats and everything else, and, you know, stats are how we pick in players and how, well, why is Rio Hatate getting so much game time when his shooting accuracy is worse than Benji Nygren, way worse than Paulo Bernardo, and way worse than Luke McCowan? And I think that what the stats show me is that Luke McCowan is one player out of the 4 of them. Luke McCowan's the one player that's maybe getting unfairly treated, and it shouldn't be free Paulo B. It should be, what the hell's Luke McCowan done wrong? Everyone wants to see Paulo getting a run in the team. Yeah, I think they do. That Karat game before ours gives me nightmares. Yeah, it does. And, you know, it was unbelievable watching it then, and it was unbelievable watching the fact that Celtic had the opportunity, like we did, to watch it on the telly, and they didn't see the way that they were going to play. They played the exact same way, and Celtic had nothing, absolutely nothing. Well, that was the previous manager. Maybe Martin O'Neill may have thought something different. and this will make you sad, Celtic fans, this morning. This will make you sad. Martin O'Neill won 7 out of 8 games as caretaker coach, answering the call from Dermot to save the club. During the sequence, the 73-year-old, well, he did not too bad. He got us into the Premier Sports Cup final. His success had a lot of fans saying keep him till the end of the season, bring the stability in. O'Neill himself won 7 major honours in his first spell in charge at Celtic, including getting to a European final. He also said that he was happy just to be here in the short term. He was happy to make way for Wilfred Nancy. But Mark Fotheringham has spilled the beans. This is going to really upset a lot of people. Martin won't tell you this, but I'm going to say it. In my mind, he was really up for the challenge of going on and winning titles and cups again for the club. I'm going to cry. Seriously, I'm going to cry. I just like... Fozzie says that Martin O'Neill won't tell you and he won't say it in person, but he thinks after working with him for such a short time as coach, you know, he worked with him as a manager. He was his manager at Celtic. Fozzie, why did you tell us? Because it's just like so sad. There was more going on at the club, as obviously everyone knows. In my mind, he was really up for the challenge of going and winning titles and cups for the club again. The more and more it was going on, the more enthusiastic he was getting. You could easily see that could have carried on for the rest of the season. Oh, Jesus. What have we done? What have we done? He had 2 young people, 2 young coaches running about him, which were fantastic for him. There's an incredible staff underneath the manager which supports whoever comes in, says Fozzie. Maybe it's romantic, but I would have loved to see the gaffer build a team for the future that could go on and compete in Europe again. No, Fozzie, don't break our hearts anymore. Jesus. Oh, God, boy! Remember the day when football was fun? The board sucked the life out of us, out of everyone. It's not just the board, mate. It's away teams. The fun's been taken out of going to away games. People are scunnered with the fact that they're not getting the amount of tickets to make buses viable for away games. You know, a bus getting 2 tickets doesn't make a bus viable for away games. So, you know, it's not just the boards, this board that have taken it out. Fozzie goes on to say, it's maybe romantic, but I'd love to see the gaffer build a team for the future that could go on and compete in Europe again. When I was a young Celtic player, he was taking the scalps, beating Ajax, Juventus, and getting to the team to a UEFA final. But we knew the board had a plan to bring in a new manager. No problem. I can't deny it. It would have been brilliant to see the gaffer stay for Hampden and leave with trophy success. Oh, Fozzie. Oh my God. Fozzie. He had to speak out, didn't he? He had to tell someone that Martin O'Neill was up for it. But he says now it's all about Wilfred. He's hoping that Celtic's triumph. The new manager has inherited an elite level operator and operators in the staff. There are people at the club who know what it takes to win. The team is ticking along. They know what it takes to win. I'm a big Celtic fan. I really hope Wilfred can be successful. Fair play to Fozzie. He finishes it off with, look, the baton has been polished off and handed over, not just dropped in the dirt like it was with the previous manager. And he wants Wilfred Nancy to be successful. So whilst we may have got a little bit of emotional there at that win by Fozzie, we move on because tomorrow evening is a massive, massive game. And teams just defenders in football has become boring in Scotland. Yeah, it has, Peter. Scottish football is just shite. Benji is slow, Bernardo lacks energy. Hatate, Engels, best of a poor bunch. Ooh, says Tithe. You maybe want to go back and see the stats of the 4 players in question. And it may change your mind. But then again, maybe not. Oh, come on, Baz, you knew this like the rest of us. And now the Subbuteo Award. Yeah. Martin O'Neill made a bad decision leaving us all those years ago. If he stayed, he was the one to replace Ferg at Man United. Nah, I don't think so. He took time out of football then, didn't he? But anyway, we move on. It is a quite used day today, as you would expect from Celtic, because Celtic have just closed doors. You could talk about really the situation with referees and such like, but what's the point? Because when it comes to the game tomorrow night, we're just going to have to try our best. Wilfred Nancy's been in the door 5 minutes, one loss, and everyone wants him out. Give the man a chance. I don't want him out. I'm talking about the fact that Fozzie's talking about the fact that Martin O'Neill would have secretly loved to stay at Celtic to the end of the season because he's seen Martin O'Neill's enthusiasm growing day by day when he was at the club. But let's face it, 73-year-old, do you really want to be kicking about with trackies on and trainers every day, freezing your nuts off during the cold winter that's impending in Scotland? Bugger that. You'd rather sit in a TV studio. UEFA have confirmed the match officials for the Celtic Roma match, if you hadn't known that. Do we really care? I don't really care about the refs, because when it comes to European football, we know that referees are of a completely different standard that they are in Scotland. So tonight we will look forward to the game tomorrow night, where surely Celtic need to try and do something in Europe. We need at least a minimum of 10 points to finish in 24th position or above. Tomorrow it's Thursday. You're still trying to work out if it's Wednesday or Thursday. Today is Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. Are they Latin? I don't care. Martin O'Neill is a legend, onwards and upwards. Yeah, he is that. I mean, it was fantastic. Surely the board have released another statement this morning. Have they? I don't know. I don't think so. No. It's all about Callum McGregor and Celtic giving 10,000 to a hospital donation that they do every year. They do the £10,000 donation every year to the hospital. But other than that, that's it. Can't see anything else. Anyway, that is me done and dusted for this morning. I'm away to get ready to do, get things ready for the live for tomorrow night. Hope you all have a fantastic day. Must be some way of getting Fozzie back. I hope so, but I don't think that he's going to be. I'm not sure about looking forward to the game tomorrow. If you're going to the game, it's still pissing down and windy in Glasgow. Don't say that, man. It's going to be pissing down when I arrive on Friday, isn't it? Missing the game tomorrow, bloody Christmas party. We'll be having our Christmas night out when. Oh God, what's the dates then? Actually, I need to watch because our Christmas party is getting a bit close to Christmas. I don't know. Well, we'll have a proper Black Friday Christmas party. Friday the 19th. That'll be ours. And Jim says, why are we still trying to walk the ball into the goal? No idea. We should be scoring from range. Anyway, that's me done and dusted for this morning. You'll have a fantastic day. I may be around later on this afternoon just to test out a system. And I hope you can join me then. Maybe it's be something else to talk about. Don't know. Maybe nothing. Have a fantastic. The wind was crazy last night. I hope you didn't waft the covers to let the other half smell. Have a fantastic night. Have a fantastic day, even Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.